Monday Night Football showed Tom Brady in the box with the headset on, with the coaches for the Raiders. And for those of you who don't know, Tom Brady owns, I believe, 5% of the Las Vegas Raiders. And that's actually a little tricky with his $30-something million a year day job, which is working for Fox, doing football for Fox. And the reason is an advancement of sports broadcasting that John Madden brought in is that prior to John Madden, the broadcasters would just show up the day of the game and then go call them. And then John Madden said, there's no way that I could properly discuss a team on television without having seen them practice and without having met with the coaches. And so the broadcast teams now get time to meet with the coaches and they like talk about stuff. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like when the broadcasters are like, look out for this guy. He was practicing this week. The coaches like, they get information that other people don't get because it's with the understanding that you're not going to say anything about it until you get on television, right? Like it's a safe space is the way that we'll put it.
And so there's a lot of rules around that stuff too,
Right. And so Tom Brady last year couldn't go to those meetings and couldn't do that stuff because he is a part owner of the Raiders. And so they changed those rules a little bit. I don't know exactly how it goes, but it raised questions when you see Tom Brady with the headset on, that he, through this time and through doing these games, he will be talking to people who work for teams that are then going to play for the Raiders, right? He's going to have access to a certain intel that is fair to ask whether or not he should have it. And so you got a lot of questions from people who saw him in the box with the headset during the game about that fact. Charles, I don't know about you. My question about it was, how annoyed are you if you were Chip Kelly? Because that just feels meddlesome.
It does feel meddlesome. And I just don't understand what's going on here with this, like with Tom in general. Like it just seems like he's got his hand in so much stuff right now. And it's funny because you said like it seems complicated when he's got these conflicts of interest, but he seems to be able to make it very uncomplicated by just walking into a room and going, "I'm Tom Brady," and that works, and that's about it. Because like last year, he's talking to Ben Johnson when the Raiders are about to have a head coaching vacancy, and he's broadcasting the game. I'm like, you can't do that. Like that's not fair. And if you read the reporting, on the Athletic about their acquisition of Geno Smith, the Raiders' acquisition of Geno Smith, Tom was very, very involved in that, in helping them like decide that Geno was the quarterback that they should go after to maximize whatever this Pete Carroll window is going to be. So, this is someone who is already reported to be very like involved in like the big decision-making processes now with the Raiders. And now he's like wearing a headset during a game, and he's going to go call another game this weekend. But he smiles and he shows us 7 Super Bowl rings, and it seems like that seems to win a lot of decision makers over as far as allowing him to break the rules. Because I don't know, like if Greg Olsen decides to start doing this, I don't know if it will go all that well for him. But for Tom Brady, it's a charmed life. I tell you what.
First of all, Greg Olsen ain't got no "give me get a piece of the team" money. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. If Greg Olsen get that money, it's because he hit the goddamn Powerball. In which case, he ain't gonna be announcing no games, right? Let's start there, okay? Number 2, I am amazed at the way that everybody is bending over backwards to create a circumstance where Tom Brady can be a mediocre color commentator. Because at least as of now, he's not especially good at it. I do think he's good when he goes on with Colin, right? And he kind of gives his read on the state of the league or whatever because he's so passionate about it. I think my criticism of him as a color commentator is it's just too important to him, right? Like it's a game to us. He's not having any fun at all when he's up there watching that game and talking about it. Like when Baker Mayfield made that point, which I thought was a fair one, that it was a little looser after Tom left Tampa. Tom was like, I thought the point was to win championships. I mean, damn, yeah, I hear you, brother. I do. But at the same time, you have to, like, you got to understand this. So he's there for Fox. They're paying him $1 zillion. It's not particularly enjoyable for anybody, especially not Greg Olsen. And so they've been like all these, it's just the idea, I guess, of being able to say that Tom Brady is on the broadcast. But
I don't
Damn,
care
really?
about that, man. I don't care
No.
about that.
No, I don't care about that. And I want to say this to be fair to Brady about not being that good at the job that he has right now. And it's something that I thought about when I was doing game theory for HBO, which is we did 2 seasons of game theory. We did 16 episodes. And that meant that I got to do a television show like that a grand total of 17 times. Like the only chance that you actually have to practice is with the whole world watching. And so back in the day, like take a guy like Phil Simms, for example. Phil Simms had gotten himself up to the point of being in the number 1 broadcast team, but that is not where he started. He started doing like the 1:00 kickoffs, just like everybody else, and then gradually, moved himself up. That's where these cats used to go. That's not it anymore. Like the dudes that they want, they walk in and boom, Tony Romo, you starting off on the number 1 team.
Yeah.
You remember when Jason Witten was out there? He was so bad he went and played football again.
I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
and they said
back
he
to
tested.
football.
Yeah, and they said he tested really well, but you have no other opportunity to practice doing that job except in front of the whole world. And Tom Brady ain't got no time to be practicing. He's too busy owning a team. and I would like to say one last thing. I can only take this to mean he really needs the money.
Because why else are you doing all this, man?
Yo,
why not just be the owner and just hang out? I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know what decisions he's made with his money. His old queen, she had all the dough or whatever. But like, they gave you 5% of an NFL team, but you can't cash that check.
But it's a different 5% because Mark Davis is so tired of making mistakes on his own that Tom gets to make like real decisions. He's playing Madden, like he gets to have a stake in the team without like the real financial risk that someone like Mark Davis would be taking. It's crazy. And now I feel like I'm getting slapped over the head with this stuff because why do I need to know that he's playing flag football in Saudi Arabia? Like what? What's going on there?
Again, this is making me raise questions. Either he's really
now that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
money.
Either he's really greedy or he's got bills, right? Like this is the only. And if you have not seen this, there's going to be some all-time great flag football league. And by the way, now that nothing matters in the world anymore and we don't care about these things, correct, these guys can go over there. Myles Garrett, Justin Jefferson, all the there's a lot of big-time current players. Rob Gronkowski, who is not a current player, obviously. But they're going to go over there and play flag football in Saudi Arabia. And it wasn't that long ago that we would be up in the grill about doing such a thing. And we had all these questions about live golf. Nothing matters anymore. They're going to go play flag football in Saudi Arabia. And I bet everybody's getting 8 figures for it at least.
And people are going to watch too. I'm not me.
I ain't doing that.
I'm staying away from that. But people
well, help me with this. If it's flag football, why we need Myles Garrett?
I don't know.
He's going over there to play.
You gotta ask them. Myles Garrett just taking a check. I don't know.
I don't understand that. Like that just doesn't.
Now that's something I might be interested in watching. Watching Myles Garrett catch a pass against someone, but only like 2 plays. Like I'm not. Yes. You can't be locked in on that. That's like if it gets on Twitter, I'll watch that then.
That is, I think, as far as I will go on it. But I was just thinking. There's no way that Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly want this. Like they're doing their best job of selling like, yeah, okay, whatever. But why do you need to be on the headset? That is the same way I feel about Carly Ursay Gordon, who is the new owner of the Colts. She's Jim Irsay's daughter. Irsay left the team to his 3 daughters. She's the one that like calls shots. And I thought it was interesting that she said that she wanted to be on the headset like early because she needed to know what kind of coaches she had, right?
Yeah.
I thought
that was actually a really interesting interview that she had about it.
I thought it made sense for a week though.
Yeah.
Like it can't be like this all the time.
Right.
That feels meddlesome. If Jerry Jones was on the headset, on the sideline, talk about I need to hear what kind of man my coach is. We would not act like that was nifty. We would not act like that was cool.
Because even if you're not saying anything, it's just it's your presence that it's a little bit too much. Because the Ursay's daughter, what's her name again? Carly. Yes, she actually said some cool stuff about how she was learning a lot about like play calls and how they go in, and some of the adjustments that are made on the fly as play calls come in. But like you could go to a meeting and learn some of that stuff. You don't
Yes.
have to sit here on Sunday on the sideline with the headset on, just kind of walking through the sidelines listening to all the coaches talk. And I'm sure that it's been enlightening for her, and maybe it will help them make help her make more decisions in a more productive manner for the organization as things go along here. But you could save that for another day. I don't know. It's just like I don't know what, like, if you're Pete Carroll, right, and you have coached so many different winning organizations across your time as a coach, whole different teams taking different forms. Why do I need to listen to Tom Brady? Chip Kelly, he's he's gotten to the NFL head coaching ranks. Got to UCLA, had the cachet to say, nope, I'm done with this head coaching stuff. I'm about to go be the OC at Ohio State. Why do I need Tom Brady on the headset? Like, what value is he really adding that couldn't be added on Monday or Tuesday? It's just
that's I think the point. Not that Tom Brady doesn't have anything to contribute.
Yeah.
But we up here doing our jobs right now, bruh. Like, I take that to mean that Tom Brady, I feel like he bored, right? Like,
yes,
I'll never forget
to be bored.
When I was in college, I participated on the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge quiz bowl team, right? I was a beast. Anyway, we had won a national championship of some sorts, and so they honored us at halftime of a football game, which I will be honest, made me feel a little bit embarrassed, right? But people were very proud of us, apparently. Like, okay, cool. So I'm sitting there with a dude that was on the team with me, and he was a dude that was in the band, but for that semester, for some reason, he was not participating with the band. And this stuck with me forever. Like, I actually found this to be very profound, is that I'm next to him, and he looks at me and he says, "This is the first time that I have ever been at a football game without an instrument." He had no idea what to do with himself if he was at a football game and he was not playing the xylophone or the instrument that he played. Like, he had no idea what to do. And I feel like that must be Tom Brady, right? Like, he's at these games, and if at least the microphone gives him something to do. Like I now imagine that when he's calling these games, like, his insides, it's like the Fighting Temptations in there. He has no clue what in the world he's supposed to do at a football game if he's not actually part of the action. So now here he is getting in on the headset.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I don't. I guess it's not what I kind of don't like. What I don't like about Tom as a broadcaster, and even like some other broadcasters, where it feels like every play needs to be like a breakdown of something. Like, hey man, just keep it moving. Like, I don't need you don't need to draw it up like when it's a 3-yard gain, or explain like every little detail what happened, because sometimes it starts bleeding into the next play, and it just kind of, it's boring to watch. Like, I remember when I stopped playing college football and I started doing media work. Like, I have some of my friends be like, "Yo, you watch film like for fun?" Like, that used to be the most boring part of all of this. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's really not that interesting, and it's not good on a broadcast either. So like, I like Gary Danielson is my favorite broadcaster. Like, has been forever. Because he's such a good job, like, blending, like, here's a quick like 2-second X and O's thing like every 4 plays, but most of the time I'm here to make Vern chuckle, and that's was a great broadcast for me. But some of it feels too serious now.
Well, so this is what I think. I'm curious what you think about the distinction I'm going to try to make. There is a difference between teaching and explaining, right?
Yeah.
And so what you're talking about, and I do think I see this from a lot of guys, they use a little bit too much jargon, right? Oh man, we got a 3-man shell here. It's a 2-eye safety.
Dude,
And they just
I like Dan and Lou Riddick or Nowalski. I like their work, but last night,
yeah,
like, whoa, boy, bring out the jargon.
Yeah. They were doing a little too much. But I mean, the God MC is John Madden, right? And
yes,
for the people who were too young to get anything close to prime John Madden, even non-prime John Madden was it. But that is the God MC of doing this. And the thing that made Madden so good, you have to remember, is that Madden derives from a time where the archetype of a coach was not so much a CEO, but was an actual factual teacher, right? And so John Madden felt like a teacher at your school. And when he did get into explaining, he had the clicker and everything else, he wasn't saying what happened. He was showing you, hey, cool thing about football, this is a zone dog. This is what you do on a zone dog. Now watch the zone dog. And they'd be like, oh, okay, I get where you're coming from, right? Like, I think that's the key is you need to know how to teach your audience. And in a way, people only care if you know more than them if you're willing to share, right?
Yes.
If you're not sharing, they resent you. But if you're making it something we could all participate in, it's like, yo, I got more food that I know what to do with. Everybody likes that guy. You know what I'm saying? But they just over there watching you eat. Nobody likes that guy.
Yeah. Well, see that's why like I had a lot of people used to tell me I was crazy back in the day when I said like Gary Danielson. I will watch any game that he broadcasts. And people are like, oh, but like, he's kind of slow. Like, no, if you listen, you will learn so much about like playing quarterback when Gary's on there because it's not an overflow of information, but he'll like over the course of a game, he'll be like, oh, so they were running this coverage earlier and bang, now they can run a switch up route here and they got loose for a touchdown. But he keeps it lighthearted too, and he keeps it moving along. Like that's kind of what we need to get back to because I do feel like football coverage in general has gotten very serious sometimes. Like, and
Yes.
I like the data and the numbers and stuff like that. Like I use that a lot in my work, but it's still a game. You should be able to have a little bit of fun and laugh at what's going on without every play or every drive or every game meaning it's some referendum on the end of the world. Like some of the stuff I'm seeing 2 weeks into the season. Like, bro, y'all need to take a damn breath. Like,
Yeah, no.
we got 15 weeks to go.
Yeah, sports broadcasts in general, but football broadcasts in particular, I really just want to watch this game. I don't need that much data, right? Like I think in a number of ways we are really overrun with data. It's data all over the screen. You got a ticker at the bottom, depending upon what network you're watching. I don't need and I get why they do it, right? But the game does then often feel secondary, and then as the game is going on, I don't I don't watch football or enjoy it as a puzzle to be solved. Though I am often intrigued by how the puzzle works. I don't like that's not why I'm watching it.